Okay, Ben Nuttall-Smith. I was just telling his wife, he's the kindest, nicest, most gentlemanly, chivalrous, wonderful, talented man I've met. Everybody else here is close, but Ben actually is that little bit, just that little bit over. You're wonderful, Ben. Ben's done a lot of things. He's taught music, theater, art, and language until he retired in 1991. He's the first vice president of the Federation of British Columbia Writers, a member of the Canadian Authors Association, editorial board member for Canadian Poetry Association, quarterly magazine Poemata, and a member of the Canadian Writers Union, and most importantly, a member of the Royal City Literary Arts. Yeah. His publications include a historical novel, Blood, Feathers, and Holy Men, by Libros Libertad publisher Manolis, sitting in the audience, an autobiographical novel, Secrets Kept, Secrets Told, again, Libros Libertad, a 3,500-word illustrated children's book, Henry Hamster, Esquire, of course, and a book of haiku for children illustrated by Jan Alberton, called Grandpa's Homestead. Ben's poems and short stories have appeared in numerous anthologies and online publications, including All That Uneasy Spring edition with the editor, Patrick Lane. He's appeared in Quill's Poetry magazine, Poemata, Canadian Poetry Association, Royal City Poets, Between Earth and Sky, Lucidity Journal of Verse out of Houston, Texas, and Cyclamens and Swords, an online poetry magazine. So Ben's got around, and everybody knows Ben. We never knew what a great poet he was until he decided to actually put out some poetry, and he really does well. He was also the winner of the Surrey Board of Trade Special Achievement Award in 2011 for work as a writer and for service to the writing community. He has a website, very easy to find, www.bennuttallsmith.ca. Ben's done a lot in his life. He's probably touched more people and inspired more people than he realizes. He's just a wonderful guy, and he's got 2 wonderful books of poetry here. Postcards, which travels all around the world, and you almost feel like you're there when you're reading them. And Moment in Eternity. And each one of those poems, it's a moment in the eternity that is Ben's eternity, but it will remind you of moments in your own eternity. Just many different poems in there. I love them both. My particular favorite is A Moment in Eternity because it tugs at your heartstrings, and the other one's great too. So without further ado, please put your hands together thunderously loud for Ben Nuttall-Smith.
I did this is Margot, oh my. A few of the poems are dedicated to Margot, and I'll mention them when they come. The rest are all dedicated to Candice.
Oh,
but
goes without saying, huh?
Anyway, Margot and I did a trip around Ireland last year. This is just a little whimsy about Northern Ireland. 5 stitches. Actually, I was riding a bicycle and I fell off and had to have stitches in my scalp. 5 stitches. What do you do to get 5 stitches, pray tell? I have to put my glasses on.
Grab your glasses.
Realize I can't read without them anymore. Dear me. Five stitches for the love of Jesus. How did you get to have 5 stitches? To close the gap in the top of my head. On the top of the head? Jesus, Mary and Joseph. And what were you doing to get a gap on your head, pray tell? We were having a discussion with Mikey. Mike Murphy, he did this to you. Wait till I get my hands on that little shite. It's all right, ma. Mikey's my friend. He got 8. 8 stitches? Aye, and a broken nose. Broken nose! For the love of Jesus, was it an argument you were having? Or just a discussion, Ma? Just a discussion. Come here, my little lamb. Let me have a look at you. Now, I would like, we were going to save any applause at all to the very end, and that way I won't know which ones you don't like. All right, I'm just going to go back and forth between two books like that. A little marker for my other thing. And, ooh, let me go right somewhere in the middle here. This is on Granville Street. It's the telephone. And in both of these books, I like to write about people I meet, and very often the underdogs, the downtrodden. Margot gets rather annoyed with me because I'm always on about these poor people who don't have this and that. The telephone. She wanders in and out of dreams on the bustling city sidewalk just outside the big box store. In a daze, in a haze, there's a package in her hand. What it is, she can't recall. She holds a cell phone wrapped in plastic, wrapped in plastic, wrapped in plastic. Her ears ring. The telephone, it has my number. Ring, 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 ring. Can't get in, can't get in. Someone taps her on the shoulder. Excuse me, ma'am. Please come with me. Just a moment, sir, she mumbles. Can't you hear? My phone is ringing. Phone is ringing. But oh God, I can't get in, can't get out, can't get out. Shoppers, children, stop to stare. All around they stare and laugh. Push and grab, push and grab. Still the telephone is ringing, phone is ringing, phone is ringing. Her head spinning, 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 spinning. Hello? 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 She wanders in and out of dreams, in a haze, in a daze. There's somewhere else in here. I'm just jumping around. Okay?
Can't help it.
Well, it takes up so much time. Would you do what you like? It's all right. It's Childhood Memories, England. These are from my childhood. Lullabies, horsey rides, stories read from books, plasticines, songtime, picnics in the woods, Bunch and Judy dressing up, swinging on the gate, blackberries, stinging nettles, wasps, peppermint, licorice, sparklers on the tree, oranges, fairy circles, first snow on the lawn, Father Christmas, bunnies, and a teddy bear for me, green apples, hairbrush, ow! Pencils, crayons, snuggling by the fire, campfires, sing-songs, swimming in the sea, red boots, puddles, a fishing pole and books, toy trains, aeroplanes, bed. Lollipops, wishing wells, gypsies in a field, elephants, monkey nuts, rolling down a hill, bunny rabbits, crocodiles, ponies, and a deer, roadblocks, air raids, pow, car rides, rope swings, robins in a nest, gas masks, blackouts, nights beneath the stairs, pup tents, parachutes, soldiers in a ditch, doodlebug, buzz bomb. There's another line down here, lullabies, horsey rides, and stories read from books. However, this must be the same lady from before, and I'm just going to read this now and then move back to the other book. This is Homeless. She spends her long days curled up on tattered rags and soggy cardboard mats in crooked doorways and by graffiti-marked dumpsters on the cold, hard sidewalk, drowning slowly in the unforgiving rain. When she's hungry, she roots for scraps of second-hand spoiled food behind greasy spoons and burger joints, dining in bleak alleys on dark side of Skid Row. Should she chance to find a half-inch butt that's not been crushed, she'll catch a light, remembering when she smoked a pack a day. Those days long gone now, just a hazy memory. Once she went to work each morning, drove her kids to daycare and school. For 19 years she worked, Then one day she walked away. No one knew where she'd gone or why. Now here she is, a broken down angel, a tarnished woman, wrapped in tattered rags and shattered dreams. With fixed stares, we all hurry by her. We don't even want to know her name. Just in case you think it's all like that, let me do Billy's bullfrog. I think some of you heard this one before. Billy caught a bullfrog. He kept it in a jar, fed it flies and spiders, and fed it by the hour. He caught a garter snake down by the garden pool, and though his dad forbade it, brought both to Sunday school. Frogs and snakes are harmless, I'm sure you'll all agree, so Billy took them from the jar for everyone to see. He showed the snake to Betty Jane, and she let out a scream. Next thing, two of the other girls began to make a scene. Upstairs, the congregation sang of creatures great and small, and listened to a sermon about peace on earth for all. The pastor spoke of children, of blessings and of joys, as piercing screams rose through the floor. Heavens, what's that noise? Billy had a bullfrog and a baby garter snake, but taking them to Sunday school was a very sad mistake. Again. Yes. Margot and I were in Greece. We were on a little island in Greece for a holiday. Can't remember how many years ago it was now. And anyway, this is an observation on one of the docks, a culinary curiosity. Here in the Greek islands, octopus and squid hang in rows by wharfside restaurants. Bare-chested fishermen have beaten them, but only to the point of tenderness. In local shops and restaurants, bottles of dry wine are sold. Dancing feet have pressed the grapes, but left the seeds uncrushed, almost. Without the fisherman's skill, the octopus and squid would be too tough. Without the seeds, bitter tannin wine would be too sweet. A culinary curiosity for tenderness and flavor, violence is often necessary, yet only just enough. What would you like? Would you like me to continue?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Oh, back and forth here. I'm just going at random. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I'll just tell you about a house I moved into up in Seashell quite some years ago. It was a handyman's delight, and I just spent my time fixing it up and working on the garden, and I was really happy there. I had no TV, no radio, I didn't get the newspaper. I forgot what was going on in the world. It was great. And that's when I began to write Secrets Kept, Secrets Told, that Manolis published last year, I think it was. Yes, 2 years ago. Oh, time flies. 2 years ago. Anyway, yes. This is the house, a handyman's delight. I chose to live high on that hill above the ocean in that tiny house that needed so much care, top to bottom, where rats sat glaring from basement corners. They ran across my bed at night and tickled with their whiskers, while I tried in vain to sleep to the cough and sputter and squeak of the oil furnace reek, while centipedes and spiders crawled across my pillow in the dark. Smoky rays of morning sun peeped through the rickety blind that hung by a thread over the sliding glass doors that led to the patio with cracked cement. Ants marched single file in snaking columns under the door to the Coca-Cola can that sat in front of the dusty brick fireplace full of soggy newspapers and rusty tins. All that was better far than natter, natter, natter. Ooh, not very nice. Oh, here's a nice one. I'm going to save this. Next time I'm at a conference where You know when you're trying to hear a speaker and somebody beside you is yakking away? Well, I was in Seychelles last summer, and my good friend Patrick Lane was reading, but I didn't have tickets because I was looking after some tables and things. I was doing a little volunteer job, so I stood as close as I could, and a couple of people very close by just couldn't shut up. The irreverence of chatter. There's sacrilege in gaudy chatter within this sacred ground, while laureates nourish parched souls with lyric sustenance. Elegance flowing from a poet's lips, weeping at the magnificence of memories, nectarine words, passion of spirit. The moment will not last, but the rasping of your irreverence will scratch my peace even when I'm gone. I cannot protest the seaplanes rising from the harbour. I do not challenge the shouting of crows, but I do object to your raucous invasion of this sacrosanct space. I move closer to stand within reach of his voice. Your screechy chatter follows. Everything is sacrilege. I cringe at your ignorance. I weep for the laureates. I sigh at my inability to stop your constantly moving mouth from spewing this incessant stream of irreverent chatter.
It wasn't me.
I'm going to read that out loud next time. I'll mark it. Okay. Oh dear. My daughter is about to marry again. Met a wonderful fellow. I've been working with him a bit on his English. A lovely fellow. I'm sorry, am I wandering back and forth too much?
No, it's okay.
Going to cause trouble with you? No? Okay.
Keeps me awake.
But anyway, this was her first marriage, and I wrote Terpsichore. You can look up Terpsichore sometime. I can't quite remember which goddess she was, but anyway. Last night, Terpsichore, my princess, fluttered white silk, pulsed moonbeams, incandescent in her beauty. Her halo stayed my heart and took my breath away. We danced in gentle rhythm, father and daughter, in ritual parting. A little girl, bride to handsome consort. A grown man, tears in his eyes, for the things that won't come again. I don't know. Do you think I'll try this time? I don't know. Maybe I'll try with joy. I don't know. Anyway, I kind of, I suppose in a way, I survived the Blitz in London. I'm that old. I'm almost 50 or something. I can't remember. But anyway, this is Chelsea Terrors. And I won't say anything more about except that that's what it's about. In 1941, I left my teddy bear behind. You smothered all my fairy dreams, drowned my childhood in gold-leaf London dry and flickering silver screen promises. You oozed over me an albuminous silver streak of spotted slug. You immersed me in your cobwebs and sour sweat. Night after night after night, you drove your poisoned dart deep, 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 and no one heard my sobs. Outside your lair, a Chelsea world screamed another agony. Before the moaning sirens ceased, the shrieking metal fell. It filled the crumbling streets with flames and running, running, running. No place was safe to hide away. And this one is right opposite. I wrote for Gaza. It's a peace poem. I sent it to the World Poetry Association to put up on a wall somewhere. I knew you as a small boy playing dreidel in the sand. Now, by the way, somebody just told me you can't play dreidel in the sand because... But anyway, I didn't know that. It's okay. Your father was the rabbi. Your mama, my best friend. We went to school together and both sang Hanukkah songs. Our days were warm and happy before 1,000 wrongs. I loved you as a brother. Our homes were heart by heart, but they built a wall of hatred to drive us far apart. One day last week I found you lying legless in the sand, a bullet through your shoulder, an AK in your hand. I knew you as a small boy, playing idle in the sand. Your father was the rabbi. Your mama, my best friend. Oh, how about a little bit of nonsense? And here we go, a little bit of, oh, I don't know where the nonsense is now.
I hope it's gonna be my favorite nonsense one.
Which is your favorite nonsense one?
Cathedral cat.
Oh, the cathedral cat.
88.
Okay, it's a long one. About 20 pages long, is it okay?
No, it's not that long. I love this one.
Yeah.
This is when I was in Seashelt and I had a lovely ginger cat. And my son was working for I think he was with the Vancouver Sun at that time, I can't remember. But anyway, and he went to Turkey for some, I can't remember if it was a story or what. And he sent me an email or a letter, an email I guess, about his trip. So, and that was about the time I lost my cat for a couple of days. My cat's gone away to sing in the choir at a cathedral by the Black Sea. I didn't know he was planning to go till he made his announcement at tea. He packed his pajamas and toothbrush and comb and gave me a hug at the gate. I whispered goodbye with a tear in my eye while he rushed off as though he were late. I hope he enjoys the incredible noise, though I've heard they put on quite a show. Still, it's terribly far to the Hagia Sophia, where the monks used to sing long ago. They'll meow all night long their sad pussycat song, then they'll feast on fresh catnip and mice. While I'll miss the dear cat, I could not hold him back, so a postcard will have to suffice. My cat's gone to Turkey to sing in the choir. He won't be back home for a while, but he sends me adventures and stories so fine, and his anecdotes cause me to smile. My cat's took a trip to sing in the choir at a cathedral by the Black Sea. I didn't know I would miss him so, but tomorrow he comes home to me. There'll be catnip for him and cookies for me as we exchange stories and sip on chai, tea. He'll sing me a song he sang with the choir, and happy, so help me, will happier be. Actually, if you ever go to the Hagia Sophia, Margot and I were there, there are cats up around there and they do meow, but apparently at night, when the mice are out. Okay, how are we doing?
Good.
That cat did come back, didn't he?
The cat came back. Very next day, the cat came back.
I thought he was a god.
I thought he was a goner, but
Stay away.
anyway, yeah. I didn't write that one. But here's another one about cats. This is an ode to the Cementerio Recoleta. That's in Buenos Aires. Margot and I spent a few weeks. Feral cats patrol avenues and narrow lanes of crumbling mausoleums. Magnificent gloss black tombs hold faded caskets with rusted handles, cracked plaster, shattered stained glass. Wealthy corpses moulder in dust of wilted flowers and broken vases. Rats and birds crap just as freely on rich and poor. When I die, build me a hostel for orphans, urchins, homeless waifs. Write not my eulogy in stone, but on the hearts and lips of children not yet born. Cast my ashes to the wind. I'd not be happy here. Maybe another one from Buenos Aires. This is Manuela. Margot and I went to a lovely restaurant, and when you order a steak in Buenos Aires, it is huge. They're huge, huge steaks, and they put other things with them. And it's a beef country. Yes, I had one of these great big steaks, and I just had ordered a little glass of Quilmes, and I got a great big glass of just a beer. And then I had to go to the washroom, and I went down the wrong hallway, and I ended up in the swimming pool, and I yelled, "Don't flush! Don't flush!" Anyway, let me go on.
That's
Sorry
not
about
bad,
that.
that's not too bad at all.
Manuela. Yesterday, Manuela, at a cafe on Florida Street by Central Pacifica, I sat at a sidewalk table in the company of prosperous porteños and pampered tourists. I sipped Quilmes and ate zucchini, fried greens, and filet mignon wrapped in bacon strips. You sat on the sidewalk too, around the corner at the curb, an angel with shabby wings, 7-year-old mother to a baby brother, both unbathed, unschooled, unhoused, unfed. Bed of dirt and rags beneath a leaky roof. What will become of you, Manuela, as the tourists pass you by? Who will love your baby brother? How dare I ask when I eat so well in your city, around the corner from where you sit, silently pleading? You are myriad, Manuela, on the streets of Buenos Aires, in the subte and the Villas Miserias. Last night, you visited me in a dream. I tried to help you. My stomach had turned to stone.